Welcome back, Plug Nation. Today we have a very important news video, so whatever you got to do, make sure that like button is blue, hit that subscribe button if you're new, and let's get into the news. So in my last video, I told you all how I was quitting NBA 2K21 Next Gen. I still have not played the game since then, and a lot of people understood what I was saying. But then there's like that 10% of Lil Timmy 37s that were like, oh, Badge, you said this before. Badge, you're never going to quit. And I really don't understand where that came from. But I just wanted to let you guys know that didn't believe me that my last video on actually 2K21 was posted on December 30th. December 30th. Now, you might get confused by next gen gameplay in the background, which I keep saying is old gameplay. But I literally have already quit. Those videos were just saying that, for those of you that were wondering, I'm literally not uploading Next Gen anymore. So the reason why is I just simply don't enjoy the game. So I hope you guys respect that. And hopefully I'll be uploading some current gen videos. But for the most part, I'm really liking making these news videos where we inform each other of what's going on throughout the community. And you guys seem to like it as well. So comment down below, keep doing news if you want me to do that. Now look, today we have a very important video because there's so much that's been happening throughout the community as the patch just came out. And like I told you guys who maybe you're not really too deep in the 2K community, stuff like that, when 2K drops a patch, it's an Easter egg hunt. What did they actually fix? Did they fix what they said they did? What did they put into the game that they didn't put on the patch notes? It's a huge Easter egg hunt to find out what really happened with the patch. Well, we've got that plus a lot of other news. So our first tweet is going to be from some subscribers. If you guys want to send me anything going on throughout the community, you guys know my Twitter is just BadgePlug. But this dude added me on Twitter and said that he is still getting file corrupted. And he's very upset that this update did not fix it because it's been in the game since literally day one. Here's another screenshot of file corrupted still being in the game. How is this still a problem? He said ... Now look, if you don't have next gen, what that means is you can't load up onto your player. There's ways to get rid of it and then it just comes right back. The other day, like I was telling you all like a week ago, I tried to get on the game and the first thing that happened was my player was file corrupted. So I literally just said, hey, this is a sign to not play the game. I'm not going to play it. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't even load into the park on my first attempt trying to play the game. Not even getting on the court and the court freezing or getting an error code. No, I literally couldn't even load up into my player to play the game before we could go through all those chances of getting error code or anything like that. Anyway, Nedic said, sources say fading is still easy as hell, and the patch didn't do anything. My question is, do these devs actually play the game or just launch patches without testing? And it's very obvious that it's the latter. You know what I'm saying? 2K does not watch the game. They don't test anything. They change something, then they go, oh, here it is. Here's the patch, right? Now, you might not be believing Nadex. Well, you might believe a professional 2K E-League player who is paid by 2K or NBA, whatever. He's a professional player, and obviously you would expect someone to be saying good things about the game and blah, 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 but he said this. He said, the game feels the same to me. They didn't patch anything. So, in my last video, I was talking about how they barely patched the fadeaways. What they did was, and it was already tested by 2K Toots, they turned down the green window a tiny bit. So you're not going to be greening as much, but if you were anything near decent at timing the fadeaways, it's pretty much like there was no patch at all because you're still going to be greening the same amount. It's just a smaller window of time in which you can green that shot. Statistics said, LMAO, y'all funny AF, banning ankle breakers out of tourneys on current gen and series. LMAO, what a joke. That's a new one. So people have done this for a long time in tournaments where they ban certain things. And I understand like post hooking and all that type of stuff, but ankle breakers, I've never seen that before. I'm not sure whose tournament that is or what the 2K community is doing. I just thought that was pretty funny to show you guys that people are actually banning ankle breakers. Like, how do you ban ankle breakers? Anyway, we have a tweet from Double H who said, save file corrupted has 100% gotten worse since the last update. Hashtag NBA 2K21. Joe No said, agree. So frustrating. Most of the time I try to play, I end up getting off due to spending more time attempting to start playing than actually playing. Dignify said, this only happens on Xbox. Do you just have to restart your app a million times until it works? So apparently that issue is only on Xbox, but think about it. That's a huge percent of the player base for 2K. Let's say 40, 50%, something like that. And it getting worse after the patch just doesn't make any sense to me. As Joe No said, and like I was just saying a minute ago, you can literally, for the most time you try to play the game, spend more time trying to get on and play the game consistently than getting error code, like than actually playing the game, because you're getting error codes, you're getting save file corrupted, all that stuff. It's crazy. Now, error codes is not just for Xbox, I know that for sure. But let's check out this tweet right here where Power responded to Joe and he said, "I'd be scared to leave the park." Now, he's joking a little bit, but that's crazy that this game is in this shape that you don't even want to leave the park. You know what I'm saying? Yadman on Twitter, he said, 2K21 Next Gen still garbage after patch. I'm sorry, wasted $500 on a console. And this guy responded and said, wait till 2K22, things will be better. I think he was kidding, but he said, nah, this is my last year. I'm done with that. So it's insane that, to me, now, like I said in the last video, you guys can have your own opinion. There is a good 10-20% of the people in my comments saying, hey, I actually like playing Next Gen, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. I just don't understand how people are, like, you can have fun in the game, right? I just don't understand how you're satisfied with the product that you bought. You know what I'm saying? I really don't get it. You got a whole new console. You got the game, which was $10 more expensive than they used to be. They upped it to $70. Then you put VC on your player or whatever you did, and you're getting all these issues with the game, and you're still okay with the product. I don't get that, okay? I'm not complaining because people are having fun. And also, I see some comments saying, oh, get better at the game, blah, blah, blah. Guys, I got a 90 win percentage on Next Gen, okay? It's not that I'm losing to people and I can't stand losing. It's not that at all. I don't understand how people think that anytime you complain about the game, it's because you're complaining because you're losing. That's completely not true. I complain about current gen with the speed boost glitching, and I have a 97 or a 98 win percentage on the game. You see what I'm saying? Like, the win percentage don't even matter to me, first of all. But just saying, oh, like looking at all these issues and then going, oh, you're just mad because you're losing? I just don't get people, bro. I don't. Anyway, Dignify said, do people really enjoy playing current gen more than next gen? The only people I can understand are the people who play stage. Quill said, don't enjoy playing either. So I want you guys to let me know. And if you don't have next gen, you can comment down below 2K20 or 2K21. But what's better, current gen or next gen for those of you that have it? Okay, let me know. And if you don't have next gen, tell me, is 2K20 better than 2K21 current gen? Now, in my opinion, I do like 2K20 much better than either of the 2K21s. And I also like it more than 2K19. So I'm not that guy who goes, oh, last year's game so much better, last year's game so much better, because I'm saying 2K20 is better than 19. You see what I'm saying? I don't go back every single year and say this game is better, this game is better, because I actually enjoy 2K20, like playing the game, not really necessarily making content, because obviously the game's like over a year old. It's hard to make content on it now. But just playing the game simply is more fun to me than playing current gen or next gen. So PowerDF on Twitter said this. He said, I think it's more comfortable to a lot of people who only really played like 20. Next gen is drastically different for better or worse, where current gen is really just more of the same, and a lot of people like that. Dignify said, valid point. So I understand that. Now, this is a tweet, another one, from Dignify on his page. Tonio said, dribbling way better, and I don't know, overall gameplay is more smooth. Dignify said, I just hate the shooting if you know how to play shot or sharp. He said, yeah, if the shooting was like 20, it's a GG. So I feel like if the shooting was more like 2K20, current gen would actually be a much better game in a lot of people's opinions. In my opinion, it would be much better. Now, I already see someone going to the comments, you guys complain about any build can shoot. It's not that. On 2K20, any build, quote unquote, can shoot. But if you have a 50 or a 63 pointer, little Timmy's not out here smacking his whites. You see what I'm saying? It actually is a skill gap in the shooting, which would make, in my opinion, the builds much more valuable. Whereas the play shot is at the very tippity top on current gen, and no other build really competes with that. Some of them can get kind of close, but no build competes with the play shot. That's why you go into the stage and every single person has a play shot. Whereas in 2K20, Nut, he beat Tyceno on the play glass. Tyceno used to beat a lot of people on his shot creator. Then you had the two-way slashing playmaker. Then you had the BP. There was many builds on 2K20 that dominated, and that was part of the reason why builds could just be made more often with different names, because a lot of builds could shoot depending on your skill. Now, the reason why we're already talking about 2K22 so much is because we know 2K is already working on it. It's very evident that they don't really care about this game, and I've said myself that I would be very happy with 2K if they just abandoned these two games and made 2K22 a very good game, to where the community came back. We were pretty decently satisfied with the game. Obviously, there's always going to be issues with 2K and stuff like that, but decently satisfied, longevity on the game, constant updates, stuff like that. I would be okay with the next 6 or 7 months of this game not really changing, because as we've seen with 2K waiting 58 days to drop a patch and it didn't do nothing, it's pretty much the same thing. You see what I'm saying? So I would rather 2K just work on 2K22. But Grinding DF on Twitter said this: I know 2K about to start working on 2K22, so I'm going to leave this here. Make the neighborhood and parks separate. 2K17 door to go to the park, which is exactly what I said at the beginning of the year before the game even came out. Ask the community for new level rewards, ideas that are actually worth grinding for. Make the same game for current gen and next gen. That last one is huge, which has been obviously all those were big, but the last one, the game has to be the same. It has to be the same game. You cannot split the communities, especially with the issue in the game, or with the world right now, with what's going on, and production is low, and resellers are buying every system. That was one of the biggest problems with next gen. That was something that, now obviously there's a lot of issues with the game. Please don't think that I'm sitting here saying, trying to make 2K look better. But a huge issue with next gen is that a lot of people don't have the console. So I was on 2K20 last night and I was talking to this guy, and he said he doesn't like playing next gen really because it's dry, blah, blah, blah. And his friends don't have the game. That's a big one. Even if someone does have it, a lot of their friends don't. So they get to play the game less, or they're sitting there playing with randoms, which really annoys them. There's so many issues. Plus, like we talked about, there's 4 or 5 different servers on the game, right? There's 4 different affiliations. That's all divisions. You see what I'm saying? 5 different divisions, or 6 with the servers. Then you got 4 with the affiliations. Then it's people playing at the exact same time that you're playing. You know how we came up with the numbers from the votes, how there's only less than 100,000 people playing the game. Divide that by 5, then divide it by 4, then divide it by 24 hours. You know what I'm saying? There's so many different divisions in this game, and that was a huge issue. But the number one thing that Grinding was saying is that it needs to be portals. If 2K, which Ronnie 2K, you guys seen the video a few days ago, Ronnie 2K pretty much confirmed that there's going to be the city or whatever again, how he was saying that there's going to be mayors for futures to come and stuff like that, and they're going to work on it, blah, blah, blah. It has to be divided. We've talked about this before, how people comment and they say, oh, badge, I don't understand why people are so upset, because this is what they asked for. They asked for multiple affiliations. Well, they did, but they didn't ask for them to be all together. They asked, and I specifically said, because I've told you guys I don't care what they do as long as it's done right, but I said if they're doing this, it has to be portals before the game even came out. I wish I would just go back and get the clip and show you guys, but you guys that heard it and watched it, you know I said it. There needs to be portals, just like Grinding said. That way it's all divided, but there's also more people in each thing. See what I'm saying? Because in the city, there's 20, 30 people in swags, or riding around on the skateboard, or AFK. Like there's out of 400 or 500 people in the park, maybe 200 or 3 of them are actually trying to play the game. You see what I'm saying? So they need to divide those people. Division is good when it's done correctly. You got to divide people buying clothes from playing the game. You can't have those people in the server that are wanting to play versus someone trying to buy clothing on the game. Now, Quill, he responded to Grinding and he said, most important thing, good and balanced gameplay. Grinding said, facts. That's the hardest part for them though. So I'm focusing on the things they could easily implement to make the game 1,000 times better. And just like this year, how I myself included, I don't think the gameplay is that good. And, it's obviously dominated by 6'7" power forwards, and I wish the build system was different. That is very important, but it's so many small things that if 2K simply, just with this game right here, not even the gameplay, changed around, like new level rewards, being able to play in different parks without getting penalized, stuff like that, would make the game much more enjoyable, even with the gameplay we've got now. Risk said, honestly, they should just cancel 2K22 and disband the franchise. They have finessed our dollars for years. It needs to come to an end. Crying said, disband the franchise. You're going to be the first person crying you don't got a basketball game to play anymore. LMAO, the game not hopeless. I just think they went away from what made it successful in the first place, park-wise, which I completely agree with. People will say, badge plug, you know that people are going to buy the game every year after complaining, blah, blah, blah. Look, they turn off the old servers. I'm a die-hard basketball fan, okay? I'm going to go play basketball tonight at the gym. You see what I'm saying? But also, my choice is not your choice. If you want to say, hey, I'm going to take away money from 2K by not buying the game. That's fine. But I'm telling you right now, that whole thing that people talk about, that's just not going to happen. People are going to buy the game every year. It's Take-Two that owns 2K. They make plenty of money. I'm telling you guys, it doesn't matter if no one bought the game. They would be just fine. You see what I'm saying? So that whole conversation, that's up to you. But I got to play basketball. I got to at least try the game to see what 2K did with it. You see what I'm saying? All right, so Steezo tweeted this out, and I was very surprised. You know, I was pretty surprised. But he tweeted this out, and he said, NBA 2K21 Next Gen is fun AF to me. I don't care. Which, by the way, you know, let's go back to what I said earlier. You can have your own opinion. That's fine with me. If he really enjoys the game, if it's his favorite 2K ever, it's fine with me because that's his opinion. I hope you guys respect mine by not playing the game. Now, Steezo said, 2K ain't had a skill gap in years. LOL. I'm just saying it's fun because this guy said that the game has no skill gap, which is true. And I honestly do agree with Steezo how the game hasn't had a skill gap in years, but I really do think that Next Gen has the lowest skill gap. Park-wise, I've said this before, that the Pro-Am and all that has a very nice skill gap from what I've seen. But Park-wise, I think it's the lowest skill gap game we've had in a long time. Little Timmy 37, Lil Tim is a demon. All right. He said, I'm just saying this game, arcade AF. I'm out here dunking like Giannis, shooting like Curry, dribbling with fireballs and stuff. And once you learn the glitchy dribble moves, it's just funny because the defense so slow, they really can't stop it. LMAO, if you don't take it serious, it's entertaining. Which is also what I told you guys. I can get on the game for a few hours a week, and I have to not take it serious. Because if I take it serious, boom, that's when I start getting upset, and I can't play. Which, by the way, even if I don't, I still get upset. And when I get upset, that's when I get off the game. But you can have a decent amount of fun if you just don't take it serious. All right, and everyone's different, but I'm very competitive, and it just starts to get to me. When Lil Timmy 37 starts smacking whites, I get off the game. You see what I'm saying? Anyway, he then said, yeah, views is the biggest L of the game, which is true. If the game was popping, a lot of these issues wouldn't be so magnified. Now, like I said earlier, the game's got a lot of issues. I'm not trying to say, the game's fine. If the views were good, it wouldn't be an issue. Trust me, I'm not. It's just that it's magnified by the views being low. You see what I'm saying? It's much more stressful on people. It's much more annoying to content creators that are trying to grind the game. D-Block said, if you wasn't playing 2K during the skill points era, you're not an OG yet. Now, I want you guys to comment down below, what was the first 2K game that you ever played in your life? Now, speaking of Pro-Am and the skill gap and all that, I seen that this was pretty interesting. Now, I made a video where I was shooting with one shooting badge, and I was greening everything on Next Gen, but I never tried, which I said I was going to, but I just never did. I never tried a low three-point rating because I had a high three-point rating, but only one shooting badge. But I wanted to try a few shooting badges on a very low three-point rating. Well, let's check out on Pro-Am what a 25 three-point rating and a 7-foot-tall player, 7'2" is what the tweet says, can shoot like. I was pretty amazed. He's going to catch the ball right here off playmaking takeover. Don't forget that. 45% green. Then he pulls up right here, 16% green. Now, I didn't notice that at first, but he did. His teammate did have playmaking takeover, but I was still amazed that he's able to shoot with a 25 three-pointer, not even in the corner as well. Now, this tweet right here was put under Power's tweet where the guy said, fadeaways are not fixed. And if that tweet is after the patch, fadeaways are definitely not fixed at all. At all. So it just amazes me, once again, how people are okay. And I know there's definitely way more that aren't than are. But it just amazes me how people will comment on the video. And you guys know I read all the comments. So, you know, I read every single person's opinion. That's why I tell you guys to comment and stuff. How they're just okay with the product that they bought. And, you know, I'm okay with that. Like, it's their opinion. You know, they can have whatever opinion they want. Like I said, if they think Next Gen is the best 2K ever, that's fine. But I just really don't understand it. Now, check this out. There's a little spelling error in the My Career. And there's a few other things we can talk about. But it's just crazy to me what we have and what it could have been. All right. When I complain about the game, it's because I want it to be great. I know I've said this a few times, but I just want it to be an amazing game. And closed mouths don't get fed. See what I'm saying? If you don't say nothing, how you ever supposed to get something, right? Anyway, it's your boy BashPlug. You've been plugged in. If you want to see me streaming 2K20, click the link in the description to my Facebook. I'm streaming almost every day. And I'm out. Peace.